Hi, and welcome to another Watch Geek video. Now today I'll be doing a review of a Swatch System 51. Now this was not a planned video, but a colleague of mine brought this one day to work, saying it belongs to a relative of his, and that he's taking it after work to watchmaker to have a look as the watch keeps stopping. Now I told him that the watch is not repairable as it's a throwaway watch with a sealed case, and that if something goes wrong, there is no way of fixing it. Now he couldn't believe it, and neither could the watchmaker when he came back to work next day and told me the watchmaker laughed at the fact someone made a sealed mechanical watch. Now if he knew the price, I think he would have cried. Anyways, let's first go over the specs real quick and how it wears before we dive deeper into it. The watch is 42mm in diameter with a lug-to-lug of 50.6, making it pretty wearable on any size wrist. The thickness is 13.9, and thanks to the plastic case and plastic parts of the movement, it's incredibly light for a mechanical watch at just 42 grams. It comes on a really nice rubber strap with the famous Swatch-shaped lugs, meaning any aftermarket strap will be hard to fit unless you're a master in handling X-Acto blades. The watch is also 3-bar water resistant, meaning it's okay for swimming and normal exposure to water. It is powered by the System 51 movement, meaning it's an automatic watch with time and date function, and it also features the instant date change exactly at midnight. It also has a power reserve of 90 hours, and the movement features hand winding but no hacking. Now this watch and its movement, the System 51, can be looked at from 2 points of view, which is something I'll do right now. One is if we look at it as a Swiss watch, and the other is if it were a Chinese watch or any other country. Now why do I want to do that? I want to show you the power of association and prejudice we have about watches produced in different regions of the world and the power of marketing. But before we start, let's look at what the System 51 is in 6 short points in a completely factual way. So point number 1, it's an automatic mechanical watch with exactly 51 pieces. Point number 2, it's completely assembled by robots. Point number 3, it has a plastic pallet fork. Point number 4, the movement is held together by a single screw. Point number 5, it comes in a plastic case that's permanently sealed. And point number 6, it costs between $150 and $200. Now we'll go over these 6 points by first looking at it as a Swiss watch with Swiss stereotype view, which is how almost everyone reviewed this watch when it came out, and nobody questioned the design and execution, followed by a look as if it was a Chinese watch. Now point number 1, like we said, it's an automatic mechanical watch with exactly 51 pieces. So, because it was made in Switzerland, most people said something like this: the Swiss have made through brilliant engineering an automatic mechanical watch with only 51 pieces. It's astonishing they accomplished that, as fewer parts means less things can go wrong, which makes this a prime example of efficient engineering. No unnecessary parts exist in this watch. Now if we look at it the other way, the Chinese have managed to make an automatic watch with just enough parts to make it work, so they can keep cost at a minimum. Now point number 2, it's completely assembled by robots. Again, through incredible technological innovation, this watch is designed in a way that it can be completely assembled by the finest machines in clean rooms, eliminating any possibility of a human error and possible contaminants that might affect the movement longevity. Again, the other side, with the increasing wages, to cut costs even further, it's made completely by robots, meaning that as the time passes and more watches are produced, the actual production cost per watch goes even further down. Point number 3, it has a plastic pallet fork. Again, the first scenario. By cleverly using a synthetic material that has an incredible property of being a self-lubricating material, the need for service simply does not exist. And if we look at it the other way, the Chinese have made even the most stressed out part of the watch as cheap as possible by making it out of plastic. Yes, plastic. Point number 4, the movement is held together by a single screw. Again, the first scenario. Again, through ingenuity possible only in Switzerland, all the components are designed to hold one another in a way that the final and only screw locks everything in place. Pure genius. Well, to be honest, this one actually is incredible. And the other way, incredibly, the cost cutting goes so far that instead of the usual dozen or more screws, they managed to make it work with only one screw, saving even money on that. Now, even I have to admire the level of cost cutting on this thing. It really is epic. Point number 5, the permanently sealed plastic case. First scenario. The sealed case not only ensures impeccable water resistance, but also ensures there is no degradation of parts of the movement or dial, as there were no human contaminants that entered the case in the first place thanks to the robot assembly, and none will enter during the lifetime of the watch. And if we look at it the other way, despite all the cost cutting I just told you, they were still not satisfied with the possible profits made by this watch. So they sealed the case back, making it unserviceable and unrepairable, meaning that if something goes wrong with the watch, you're expected to throw it away and buy another. And point number 6, it costs between $150 and $200. Now, if we look at it one way, the price is the best part, as you get a fully in-house Swiss-made mechanical watch for only the fraction of the price you would usually have to pay. And if we look at it the other way, the price is laughable for a watch that through clever engineering costs only a few cents to make and is basically a throwaway item. Plus, all Chinese watches are in-house anyways. Now to conclude, one way, which is what most reviewers did. This watch is an incredible step forward in manufacturing, and some have called it possible game changer. It proves once more that the Swiss are not only the best when it comes to luxury watches, but also when it comes to bringing their watches to the masses. And if we look at it the other way, this watch is an incredible step forward in lowering manufacturing cost and making as much profit as possible while making it as expendable as possible. The Swiss, Chinese, have once more proven that their ability to make something as cheap as possible cannot be matched by anyone. Now, how does the first description make you feel and how does the second? Now, as you might expect, I feel about this watch more like the second description. The fact that it is entirely made in Switzerland doesn't somehow magically change the fact that I see it as an ultimate cost-cutting, money-making product. And a product that goes against everything that I like in a mechanical watch. Now, most of us get into mechanical watches because of the idea they're made by the watchmakers by hand, and that it could be passed down to our children or their children. Now, the truth is that most of the watches we own are assembled by machines with a minimum of human intervention, and that we will most likely flip the watch, so handing it down to our children is highly unlikely. But we still like the idea. We also like the idea that we can make a mechanical watch last for a lifetime and more through regular service. The truth is, most of us won't find it economically reasonable to service it, especially when it comes to cheaper watches like Seiko 5s, where the service can cost as much as a new watch in some countries. But despite that, we like the idea and still have the option to service it and really make it last for generations, if we wanted to. Now, in some countries like mine, a service for a Seiko 5 is $9 to $11 at an independent watchmaker. So servicing one is actually acceptable, especially if you're emotionally attached to the watch. The System 51, on the other hand, doesn't even give you that option. They claim it will last more than 20 years, as is, because of the self-lubricating materials. But guess what? It's a mechanical watch, and mechanical watches are more delicate than regular quartz watches, meaning that in those 20-plus years, you will bump it, drop it, or in some other way damage the watch, and it could go wrong just like this one did after only 2 years of wear. Now, for all I know, it might require just a simple fix like tightening the only screw it has, but guess what? You can't do it. With any other mechanical watch, like a Seiko 5, you can repair it. I dropped my SNK many times, and one of those times I bent the balance wheel shaft. I took it to my watchmaker, and he repaired it and serviced it for the already mentioned $11. I keep mentioning the Seiko 5 because this is basically a Swiss attempt at making a Seiko 5 of the Swiss watch industry, only worse in every way possible. It is made in a cheaper way, using cheaper materials, and costs much more. Seiko also uses plastic because of its self-lubricating properties, but they use it on a date change mechanism, meaning it will be under stress once a day. On the Swatch, it is under stress 518,400 times a day. Over a course of a couple of years, the difference is ridiculously large. Now, don't get me wrong, the engineering behind this watch is nothing short of amazing. I'm especially amazed by the way they made it with only one screw. The engineers behind this project have my utmost respect. I even like the design. It's 100% Swatch, and I love funky Swatch designs. I especially love the dial and the hands that, although playful, still have incredible legibility. So what is my problem with the watch? Well, the price and the fact it's in a sealed case. It should cost a lot less, especially if you look at what the competition has to offer for the same price. And the sealed case is the biggest reason why this watch is a fail in my opinion, because it makes a watch that's not really that cheap a throwaway item. Now I'm glad they started changing that with the Irony series, as those have a removable case back, and that might actually make me rethink about the System 51 again. But until then, if you ask me, stay away from these watches. And if you're into funky designs and love Swatch, go for their quartz offering. I know I personally would. Or if you really want a mechanical watch, for the price they're asking for these, there are literally thousands of options that are better than this. Well, anyways, this pretty much completes today's review, so I would like to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe. Now, this will be my last video of the year 2017, so I will see you in my next video next year. I wish you all the best and hope you have more health, love, and success in the next year. Bye.